A very good afternoon, everyone. Today we are shooting episode number 6 for Breaking Bread with DMI. Today, the guest we have is Mr. Vivek Dhawan and Mr. Rakesh Ranjan of Omega Seiki Mobility. Very good afternoon, sir. So,
Good
we want to
afternoon.
start our conversation by asking, what do you think about the EV market in India right now?
So good afternoon, Mr. Ji, and thanks for having us and giving us an opportunity to speak on your channel and sharing our views. So I think the EV industry is growing, and I think the biggest thing which I would like to say is that if you see where the most of the R&D of automobile industry is now focused. I think it is not on developing new engines. It
Okay.
is actually on developing new EVs, whether it
Yes.
is working deeply into motors,
Correct.
powertrains. So we have very good products now in the two-wheeler and three-wheeler segment,
Okay.
and I think the last sorry, and we will be very soon having the light commercial vehicles also,
Okay.
four-wheelers in our country.
Mhm.
So that will actually cover approximately 80 to 85% of the total vehicle population in India.
Okay.
And then we will slowly work on, the balance vehicle segment, which is the four-wheeler personally owned cars
Mhm.
and, the trucks which are used for the intercity application. But I think the government policies have been supporting. The technology has been evolving
Okay.
and it is in the, positive direction.
Okay.
And I think the best indicator of getting stakeholders confident in technology is when actually people start financing that product.
Correct.
So if you see a lot of financial institutions have come forward and started financing. So absolutely no fact denying that the adoption of EVs in India is happening as per the expectations,
Okay.
and even I would say faster than the expectations.
Okay. And how do you see Omega Seiki Mobility contributing to this growth?
Yeah, so our mission has been very very clear.
Mhm.
So the good part is that we have the automobile thing in our blood or in our DNA for the last 50 years.
Okay.
Because since 1970s we have been making a lot of automotive components.
Okay.
And the second thing is when we started the EV journey,
Mhm.
so we did not have any baggage of balancing between EVs and traditional ICE vehicles,
Correct.
because we are a born electric company,
Yes.
right? So we have been developing products,
Mhm.
manufacturing, developing
Mhm.
products, and in line with the policies rolled out by the central as well as the state governments.
Correct.
So I think if you want to be cost effective, if you want to be more, safer,
Mhm.
so you have to, bring that localization contents and, have products where they actually have control on the
Correct.
technology. So we have been doing that. And the second thing is we have actually set up a goal for ourselves to
Okay.
be the only EV company
Okay.
which can give solutions for all your needs related to commercial, moving commercial goods or people, whether it
Mhm.
is on a two-wheeler,
Mhm.
whether it is on a three-wheeler, or whether it is on a four-wheeler.
Okay.
So the three-wheeler part is sorted. I
Mhm.
think one product which where we are actually having this session is our recent product, the
Okay.
passenger product. The cargo product, we already have a very wide range,
Correct.
and the two-wheeler thing is also sorted. And we
Mhm.
are now very very aggressively working on launching our
Mhm.
LCV four-wheeler commercial trucks.
And what sort of marketing strategy you are using, in OSM for the growth of the product or the company?
Yeah. So when we started selling EVs,
Mhm.
so the market was very very limited to a few big e-commerce companies like Amazon and Flipkart,
Mhm.
because they have been giving mandates that
Mhm.
start delivering your goods on EVs only.
Okay.
So we actually obviously captured that opportunity
Okay.
and started venturing into the EV field. But I think going forward and having seen this industry very very closely, we see a lot of or I would say the largest share actually lies not in e-commerce, right? It actually lies somewhere else, which is actually the retail segment, or I
Okay.
would say the non-e-commerce segment.
Okay.
So our marketing strategy presently is focused around building our dealer network.
Okay.
And I think if you go through our presentations also,
Mhm.
so we have now dealers in almost every state of the country.
Okay.
That shows how deep and how fast we have penetrated into different states.
Okay.
Because once you are closer to the customer, only then he can buy a vehicle,
Correct.
and he can get it serviced also. So our strategy today is go retail, go deeper into tier 2, tier 3 cities,
Okay.
have all the dealerships with the the 3S formats, so that your services their service needs get addressed very very promptly.
Correct. Yeah. Service plays a very major role in automotive segment.
Yes.
So my it's a two-part question. One, what are you doing as a company for service? B, are there any new service centers or any technology center specifically for service which you are thinking to bring it up?
So, as you rightly said, so I will also, divide my answer into two parts. One is for if you actually consider the enterprise business or, the corporate business.
Correct.
So, we actually still do that part directly with our set of technicians and engineers.
Correct.
Because, that business as a whole has to be managed by our own people. Obviously, dealers are supporting by providing infra, by providing space, by providing utilities, by providing the technicians also. And for retail, now it is entirely up to our dealers.
Okay.
And what we are doing is actually training their people.
Okay.
We bring them to our plant, we train them, we tell them that just deassemble this vehicle, assemble it again, and gives that hands-on training to all the technicians. We are doing that part.
Okay.
But answering to your second question, so to actually support our big enterprise customer, so we will have our own COCO centers also, which are actually the company operated and company owned, service centers at two major cities, which is Delhi and Bengaluru. Because 80% of our fleet actually runs there.
Correct.
So we want to give actually that comfort to our enterprise customers, because of the reason that these were actually the initial deployments.
Yes.
And these deployments are already a couple of years old.
Yes.
And all those vehicles actually require an extra
Service.
service as compared to the recently
new
sold
vehicle,
vehicles. Yeah.
Okay. And my last question to you, Mr. Dhawan, is skill development plays a very major role in any of the industry. So, what do you when we talk about skill development, what is Omega Seiki doing right now to train their staff, be the in production side, in marketing side, or sales side? What is the overall skill development process, or protocols or parameters you are following, or you want to set it up for the company?
So I think our motto is, if you want to train someone, so train when they are young.
Okay.
Okay, so we actually run a very very efficient industry academia program also,
Okay.
where actually we are hiring talent from one of the best, or the best in class engineering colleges,
Okay.
who are actually joining our companies.
Okay.
So we are doing that part.
Okay.
And the second part is not only training people who have joined us, but we are actually creating the visibility of EVs in different universities and colleges also.
Okay.
And I am very very proud to announce that most of the established engineering colleges today have EVs as a subject
Okay.
in their maybe seventh or eighth semester.
Ah.
So that kind of enablement we are doing, just to bring that ecosystem to a level.
Correct.
And within the organization, so we have different programs for different functions. So we have the programs for people who join us new, that is called a basic program.
Okay.
Then we have an advanced program, where actually we teach them about the products.
Correct.
And third is actually the expert level,
Okay.
and which is actually a trainer level.
Okay.
So now we have four expert level trainers across the organization,
Correct.
which is divided on between all the regions. And then we use their expertise to give training to all the stakeholders. Obviously the training modules vary from your function. If you actually a sales guy, so from a technology side you will not be that deeper.
Okay.
If you are R&D guy, so you have to become an expert.
Yes.
If you are production guy, so maybe between
Correct.
a basic and an expert level.
Correct.
So we are mindful of that text, and
Okay.
all the employees, so they have their competency maps,
Correct.
that where were they today
Okay.
or yesterday, and where actually because of these training modules we would like to take them after 6 months or a year.
Sales for the last month hit a little dip. So, what was the reason behind it? And B, what are your targets in the future?
So, first of all, I would thank you for asking this question.
Okay.
So the first answer is you're right. So the sales actually, so there are two parts to look at the sales.
Okay.
One is how much we have billed,
Yes.
and the second is how many vehicles we have registered.
Okay.
If you see the first part, so we actually, we actually were at our original position, right?
Okay.
So there are a lot of complexities, sir, when
Correct.
you actually go out and register a vehicles.
Yes.
So India is actually a very very, I would say, has a very complex federal structure. Some states say, I bring an ICAT certificate, your vehicle is ICAT approved. Other
Okay.
states say we will still do an independent assessment to do a STA.
Mhm.
So we were actually sort of stuck in that STA part,
Mhm.
where actually the vehicles were manufactured, sold, but
Mhm.
could not get registered.
Ah,
So those 50, 60 vehicles actually could have help us to retain those
numbers.
numbers.
Okay.
But I think the larger point is we are actually helping this ecosystem to grow. We are
Correct.
not into that rat race of
Correct.
scoring higher than our competitions. But
Correct.
last but not the least, if you see our performance, YTD performance for the current month,
Mhm.
so we are actually outnumbering our nearest competitors.
Oh,
So still we are maintaining our leadership position there. So
okay.
YTD, we are actually maintaining the leadership position.
So my takeaway is train them when you are young, because skill is what I feel is very important even for us in media also. When we bring fresh writers, we want to work under our editor and learn all the nitty gritty, so that one when he comes to write content or article, he has little bit of experience to
Absolutely.
do it in a proper way. So now we want to move it to the other topic, which will be our last topic, that is financing, because which is the pain area, and I feel it is one of the most important, whether it's a
Yeah.
customer or a company. So Mr. Ranjan, I wanted to ask, what are you doing in terms of financing? B, how do you see this ecosystem working?
See, thanks Dinesh for asking this question. So, see, primarily to answer this question, I'll take you through to the recent past of our company. When we started our journey in terms of the financing, so primarily there was no financing scope available from the bankers and the financiers, and no opportunity option available in the market from any of the lenders, good lenders, decent lenders. So probably we have started our journey with the penetration of overall market share was 4%. Now, then after that, last year we have increased from 4 to 11%. Now, if I talk about this year, we are getting somewhere 19 to 20% of the penetration. When you go in terms of the backward calculation to understand what exactly the algorithm behind this, the retail part is playing a very vital role in this. And now there is a buying, decent and positive buying from the financial perspective to extend the financing to these products to the customers in the retail market. So month on month, whatever the numbers we are doing, again the numbers, what is reflecting on the Vahan is only the actual numbers I'm talking about. Is you will find the 20-22% is the contribution is from the retail segment customers also, and the partnership from the bankers like the Indian Bank, PNB Bank itself says everything. uh, I don't feel that the any answer is required other than this to reply in a manner that these bankers have shown interest and the positive sign they have shown, and they are the kind of faith they are showing in the industry. I feel in the coming months this, the entire figure will change and the entire industry will change in terms of retail financing. So India is changing, the financing industry is changing in EV
Okay.
lending. Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. Dhawan. Thank you, Mr. Ranjan,
thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
for having this unique kind of interview in your vehicle. It's Stream City, I guess.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's
this is,
instituted.
as you rightly said, called Stream City.
Okay.
If you see, it can easily have, you have three or four people at the back. So we have actually two variants here. One
Okay.
is actually a bigger vehicle,
Okay.
which is for a shared mobility platform.
Okay.
But I think in the metro cities like Bengaluru, Chennai, Hyderabad, Delhi, so the smaller version is actually most preferred, right? So this
I'll
vehicle is with a 10 kilowatt, 9.55 kilowatt to be very precise, size of the motor, with a 8.5 kilowatt hour battery. Gives around 100 kilometers per charge cell. Yeah.
So, what is your message to buyers or EV enthusiasts in B2B domain who are looking for an option? Uh, what do they should look at buying your vehicle? What are the what they should come for to buy a Rage or maybe Stream City? The key benefits of this vehicle.
I think maybe the advantages are immense,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So in comparison to a diesel vehicle which consumes your money at the rate of 6 rupees per kilometer, a
Okay.
CNG consumes 3.5 rupees per kilometer. So an EV actually consumes only 50 to 60 paisa per kilometer.
Okay.
So that is obviously one benefit which you get upfront. Secondly is I think, and I think more importantly, if we see how our future generations will get a lot of security in terms of the challenges which we have in terms of environment. So I think having more sustainable logistics solution actually is an answer today. So, converting themselves to the green solutions, more sustainable solution is something which actually is a social responsibility, not only from, an OEM perspective, but I think everyone needs to join that, journey so that, our future generations are secure, they are healthy.
Thank you, Mr. Dhawan. Thank you, Mr. Ranjan.